Welcome back to Anonymous Lens. Today, we dive into letter number 4 from the RPF Insider. In this forthcoming account, we'll uncover more about the inner workings of the Rehabilitation Project Force and the relentless efforts of those within to communicate their experiences to the outside world. Prepare for more revelations and insights that continue to expose the true nature of life inside the Church of Scientology's most secretive programs. This is letter number 4 from the series of 13 letters that were part of the FBI investigation. The FBI investigation against the Church of Scientology in 2009 was for civil rights and human trafficking. This letter is narrated exactly how it was written. If you haven't watched the video for letters 1, 2, and 3, please make sure to watch, it will make better sense. Let's dive in. This is letter number 4. Maybe you have gotten my earlier newsletters, maybe not. In the hope that you have, I will continue to write what might interest you about what is happening behind those blue walls in the RPF, Rehabilitation Project Force. Do you know why there are so few guys that graduate the RPF program? Well, check this out. A new final assessment came down from INT, Gold Base, about a year ago. A twin ship has to assess this list on each other on the E-meter. There cannot be any reactions or reads on the needle at all on the following questions. The slightest bad thought or incorrect idea in any of these areas would create a reaction on the needle. About 30 to 40% of the entire RPF is on this last step, but are not making it through. This is supposed to be a final check on the entire program, which takes an average of 1 to 2 years, although some guys take much longer. For example, Ken Shapiro has been on the RPF for about 6 years. Great PR, public relations, and expectations have been shoved down our throats that the RPF should only take 6 months, which is practically impossible. It's a twisted dream turning into a nightmare, and many twin ships at the end of the program are really getting frustrated and are not making it through. One example of this is Majbrit Wheelis and her twin Felipe Avila. They were on the lines to graduate for months, and they couldn't make it, and they got kicked out. Some elaborate reason why she didn't make it, making her guilty for not performing her duty as a case supervisor in the RPF and other things from her ethics file, got her SP declared. She had no place to stay locally and she was on the phone to her mother in Copenhagen in Denmark, begging for a place to stay, until she got a job and back on her feet. If someone would see this over in Denmark, please help her out. She's a very nice girl. I was devastated to see what happened to her family life. Her husband Alec Wheelis graduated the RPF last year, and he was on a recruitment tour for the Superpower Project, I believe over in England. He wasn't informed or told anything about his wife, and she was told she would have to handle the divorce later on, so he would not be interpolated. What kind of decency is that? On top of it all, her mother-in-law, Alec's mother, is here on the RPF also. Her name is Leslie Epstein. She worked at Gold for many years. Her husband John Epstein is also here, and they had to witness their own son's wife being SP declared and kicked out, never to be seen again. I saw her SP declare order when it was on the bulletin board, and it sounded like it was just made up to get rid of her. Her twin Felipe did not get officially SP declared, but only probationally SP declared, with no issue, but basically told to shut up, or you will get SP declared. I saw a big smile and relief on his face when he was finally allowed to get out of here. Someone decides that's it, no more chances, and then evidence is held against you, you have no defense against Scientology justice. If some high exec decides you are out, then you are. This final assessment for graduating the RPF is a printed list, and available to any RPFers, so it's easy to get hold of. How would you like to have these questions marked in your face, while on a video camera? Then expecting that it's a clean needle on the E-meter, and you fully agree. Regarding INT execs, do you have an evil purpose? Regarding INT execs, do you have a vicious intent? Regarding INT execs, have you been spreading black PR? Regarding RTC execs, do you have an evil purpose? Regarding RTC execs, do you have a vicious intent? Regarding RTC execs, have you been spreading black PR? Regarding LRH, do you have an evil purpose? Regarding LRH, do you have a vicious intent? Regarding LRH, have you been spreading black PR? Regarding LRH, do you have any bad thoughts? Are you secretly disaffected with management? Do you have any withholds from RTC? Do you have any intention to stop Scientology? Do you have any intention to stop Scientology dissemination? On your RPF program, has an evil purpose been missed? This has to be done on a video, with a close-up on the dial, and the pre-clear holding the cans. It's done as a full formal session, and if you go to the examiner afterwards and your needle is not floating, meaning that you are happy and agree, then you have to go back in session again, over and over. When you think you have a clean assessment, you send it to the RPF IC for inspection, and when he agrees, he sends it on to the senior CS within CMO, across the street for final approval. When it's approved for both you and your twin, you have filled the last requirement on the program, and can submit your full data for final approval to RTC to graduate. Of an average of 180 RPFers, there are 1 or 2 twinships that graduate every 4 to 6 months. There are many more being assigned to the RPF in that time period, and there are quite few that get fitness boarded out, if they don't move on the program with their twin. You are basically 100% responsible for your twin, and anything happening to him or her is your responsibility. In other words, nobody is graduating alone, but always and only with your assigned twin. For some reason, there have been quite a lot RPF arrivals over the last few months coming down from INT, or OSA, or Gold. They don't look happy. Maybe they have disagreements, or they cannot put up with the management, or the regime of David miscarriage, or are unable to please him with what he expects out of their abilities. For some reason, it's not a priority for us to see the international events anymore. It used to be an information line, to let all RPFers know what is going on. We were about to see the LRH birthday event in March this year, and were seated and ready to see it. Then the RPF IC came in and cancelled it. We had to go and clean our rooms and then go to bed. Maybe there was something on there that was not good for us to see. Usually the glorious birthday game is the highlight of the year. It covers all the big wins and international expansion. I'm really curious to find out why we couldn't see it, and I will, once I get out of here. Everyone assigned to the RPF has to sign a waiver that one is doing the program on his own volition for the purpose of getting oneself redeemed. No one is forced to do the RPF, and technically people are not held here against their will, but nobody wants to be here. I believe that the majority are working hard on this program, originally outlined by LRH on the ship Apollo. They want to make good and be forgiven, so they can get back in the group, and back to their old buddies and help clear the planet. It might sound fanatic, and it is. But that's what is crammed into your head when working in the Sea Org. After many years, you forget how important other parts of life are, like any interests, sport, hobbies, and much less having any kind of decent family life. So RPFers dedicate themselves to do all they can, and they hang in there year after year on the RPF trying to graduate. However, one day you are told, that's it. Your time is up and you didn't make it, so you get fitness boarded out of the Sea Org. Then, you get dumped on the street with severance pay of $500. There is a totally different approach for someone who wants to leave. If you say you want to leave, this is called a blow. Then you get second checked over and over, and not until several questions have been totally cleaned and you have a floating needle, are you allowed to complete the rest of the steps, to finally be able to go. I remember seeing Chuck Beatty on the line to route out of the Sea Org here in the RPF. He ended up having a personal baby watch, for almost 1 year, under watch 24/7, and obviously he could not get those specific questions clean, as he did not agree with many things. He was at Gold or INT for many years, and I believe that he must have a lot of information about many people, of what happened up there, why they were so carefully trying to make sure that he would not turn on the church or management. I'm sure he disagreed with a lot of things. But for a full year, the lowest paid job anywhere, I would believe, is something like $7 per hour. He could have made $20,000 in a year flipping burgers at McDonald's. The pay in the RPF is 25% of full pay, which is $50, so after tax, you end up with $11.46 in your hand, per week. That is barely enough to pay for hygiene supplies, much less for any coffee or cigarettes. Personally, I hope that I will live through this insanity, while maintaining some sanity of my own until I get out in the real world, to start all over again. Having no credit card, No ID, driver's license, or family. I will start over somehow. I'm sure I will find someone that agrees with what I'm letting everybody know in my newsletters. Thank God that I have a friend very close by who can get the data up for me. I hope to see you soon on the brighter side of another life. The RPF Insider. This was letter number 4. Stay tuned for our next video, where we dive into letter number 5 from the RPF Insider. In this forthcoming account, we'll uncover more about the inner workings of the Rehabilitation Project Force, and the relentless efforts of those within, to communicate their experiences to the outside world. Prepare for more revelations and insights that continue to expose the true nature of life inside the Church of Scientology's most secretive programs. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay vigilant. This is Anonymous Lens, bringing you the hidden truths, one letter at a time. See you next time.